A new Crash game?
And Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 has been announced.
Also a new Pokemon Snap game.
All this and more announcements in today's video. Alright, so there's been over the last few months, a ton of press conferences and digital streams of like these kind of direct style videos, showcases, presentations. I mean, you name it, there's been so many of them. So since it's such a big video, we're going to rush through a lot of these, but we did want to give them mention because so many of them happened. So, for example, there was the Escapist Indie Game Showcase. Twitch Gaming did a bunch of streams. I believe that was in partnership with Jeff Keighley as well. The IGN Summer of Gaming, aka the IGN Expo 2020, and the IGN PC Gaming Show. EA had a presentation. Sony, of course, had two presentations the last couple months. There was a Marvel presentation, and way back there was a presentation called the Wholesome Direct Indie Games Showcase. And there was also recently the New Game Plus Expo. So just tons of showcases, plenty of them. So with all of that in mind, we wanted to take a little bit to just go and list some of our favorite announcements from these, and then maybe talk a little bit more after as well. So do you want to start, or do you think I should start? What do you think?
I'll start it off, don't worry about it. Because I'm already excited for one of them, and the one specifically I'm super excited about that just happened about a week or so ago was the announcement of Crash 4, It's About Time. Now, I was actually expecting this announcement to happen during the Sony event, but some things got shuffled around, and then we got a leak from Taiwan. Supposedly, a lot of people thought it was just a rumor. It looked very convincing to me. But when it was finally revealed with Jeff Keighley, I basically lost my mind. They're doing a direct sequel to Crash 3 Warped. And it's kind of insane because they're basically taking the original, what was supposed to be the original Crash 4, which is this game right here, Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. They're basically taking the idea of that game with the original 4 masks being the elemental masks, fire, wind, water, earth, and basically taking that idea, rearranging it, and making it more different to be more about time, gravity, dimensions, and stuff. They're also bringing in Coco. They changed the design. It looks amazing. It looks more cartoony, and it's literally starting off from the last game. I'm super excited about it.
Neat.
And one of my friends actually works at Toys for Bob, the company who's actually creating Crash 4, so that makes it even better for me. It makes me super excited.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I heard about that as well. When they premiered that, I was like, oh shit, there's a new Crash coming out.
Yeah. Another great thing about this Crash game is that it's looking like it's going to be an extremely long Crash game because it's rumored to have over 100 levels. And that's freaking amazing for me because one of the major things about the older Crash games is that you get maybe 25, 30-ish levels and that's it, the game's done. So it's looking like this is going to be a long hike for me, and that just means more Crash for me to play. Hell yeah, super excited.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so the other announcement that I'm super duper excited for was, of course, the announcement of new Pokemon Snap. Holy heck, it's been about 2 decades since we had our first Pokemon Snap on the N64. And this game right here is legendary. It really is. The fact that Nintendo did not release a sequel to Pokemon Snap, the original, on the GameCube or the Wii or freaking the Wii U, for God's sakes. The freaking gamepad was made for Pokemon Snap, quite literally. All they gave us was a watered-down minigame on the Pokemon Sun and Moon. And that really didn't scratch that spot that we wanted. When they announced it about a week or so ago, it basically came out of left field. Nobody was expecting it. And it's looking like they're going to be expanding on what they did with the original Pokemon Snap. Because they already showed off about 40-ish Pokemon in their reveal trailer. And the original only had a little over 60. Let's remember that. So it's looking like they're going to expand it in scope. It's looking like they're going to add a whole lot of stuff, which I hope they do. I hope they stay true to the original, while also just adding more to it to make it even more fun, more secrets, more areas to explore. And Why not? Maybe explore the old areas as well. I'd love to re-experience that in super awesome, glorious HD.
And it's gonna be on a Switch, right?
It is going to be on the Switch, and that might actually push me to buy a freaking Switch because you have no idea how much I love Pokemon Snap. It was just so good. Now the next piece of news is kind of interesting. So Sony did their presentation a few weeks back. They showed off how the PS5 looked, and a lot of people, we even mentioned this last time in our last news coverage of video, how the PS5 looks like it's going to be huge. Well, that was pretty much confirmed that it's going to be a ridiculously big console, about the size of my torso actually, because there was a leaked image from a factory where they were actually producing PS5s, and one of these guys making them was actually holding the PS5 in his hands. I'll very likely be putting up the picture in post, and the system is freaking huge. Now, normally that wouldn't really be too much of a problem. Let's remember the PS3 was pretty big itself when it first launched, but it's even bigger than that, and especially because of its weird design, I don't know exactly if I'm going to want to put it horizontally or maybe vertically or whatnot. It's just seeming a little bit weird. And then also the rumors about it, the price of the PS5. There were some leaked Amazon pricing from France, I believe, and it kind of priced the PS5 at around $700. And I'm assuming that's the one with the CD. So there's a lot of rumors going around. There's also other rumors saying that the PS5 very likely won't be $700. That'd be like shooting yourself in the foot. Let's remember the PS3 came out at $600 and that didn't really do too well.
Yeah. So
I don't see Sony pricing it at $700. I think the real sweet spot is around $500, if not $450, maybe $450 for the discless PS5 and $500 for the full version.
It could be tough. That's a really big box. Like that's a huge amount of stuff that's gonna go into that new console compared to the 4.
It really is. And the thing is, I understand why they made it big. You got to be able to fit the power supply in there. Nobody likes the brick. Everybody remembers the Xbox One and that big ass brick you had to connect it to just to power it. Nobody likes having to deal with it, especially me. I'm pretty sure you do as well, and everybody else didn't want that. So they got to be able to fit that in there. They got to be able to run all the chips, all the processing power, and still be able to cool it so it doesn't explode on us. We all remember the Red Ring of Death. We don't want that to happen again. So yeah, I understand what it's big. I understand why it's big. It just kind of sucks that it's that big, but if we really want the console, which I really do, I'll find space. I'll figure out some way to get it in there. And then my last piece of news that I wanted to comment on was the Xbox Series X Lockhart edition. So there have been some rumors going around with that as well. It's looking like Microsoft is willing to bite the bullet and price the Xbox Series X small, or Lockhart, whatever you want to call it, very, very cheaply, so that way they can really kind of just beat Sony. For those of you who don't know what the Lockhart is, it's basically a weaker, smaller Xbox Series X. It's going to have basically the same processing power, just not the graphical fidelity of a full Xbox Series X. So instead of going to 4K, it'll max out at maybe 1080p and maybe go up to 60 frames per second. However, it's going to be much cheaper and smaller than the full version. So you'll be able to play the next generation of games. You just won't get it at 4K, which for a lot of people, that doesn't really matter to them. Not everybody has a 4K TV. So that might actually give Microsoft the edge, and I'm hoping that Microsoft would do that too. Now, I mainly go Sony when it comes to consoles, but the reason why I want Microsoft to do that is because I want Microsoft to give Sony competition. We all know how Sony got when they got way too comfortable. They released the PS3, a huge box, $600, and they just said, that's it, we win, we have the strongest console out there. That didn't work. We need these companies to compete with each other, because if they don't,
the games suck, the consoles suck, and they suck.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much, basically. I mean, I honestly even feel like we see that with the 4 too. Like, I like the PS4, and I think it's obviously the better choice than the Xbox One, but I still feel like the last 2 or 3 years, Sony has been very lazy with anything for the PS4, and there's the backwards compatibility on the PS4 sucks, and it's just like, yeah, we want them to compete. We want a better end product.
Yeah, I'm actually really hoping Microsoft lights a fire under Sony's ass. I want them to push Sony to be like, oh crap, all right, that Lockhart system, the Series XS, I guess I'm gonna call it. That's like $200. Holy crap! How are we gonna compete with this? We gotta up the value. We gotta make the PS5 more palatable. So I'm hoping that does happen. It'll push Sony, and it'll only work better for us. When companies compete, it's better for us.
Yeah.
And it actually leads me to my final point that I wanted to mention. Manners, you remember Mixer?
Oh yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah,
Never was there.
The competitor to Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone.
Yep.
Like,
It bit the
gone.
dust.
Starting the 30th of July, basically this month. We're recording this in advance, by the way. But yeah, it's gone. They didn't get the numbers they wanted. They even tried getting a few prominent Twitch streamers like Ninja onto the platform, giving them and Shroud, and giving them a buttload of money. Like, these guys don't have to work another day in their life, quite literally. They gave them all that money. They pushed Mixer, and they couldn't do it. And
they're selling it to Facebook Gaming, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're transitioning all of their streamers to Facebook Gaming, which I'm gonna admit it right now. I was just saying this before. Companies need to compete so that we win. Mixer being gone sucks because that means Twitch gets less competition.
Well, there's an update to that. I don't know if you knew, but Shroud, Ninja, and Dr. Disrespect allegedly have ran off to go and make a brand new streaming website. It's called BRIME, I believe BRIME, something like that, like Prime but with a B. Yeah, it's alleged. That account, the Twitter account, is following all of those guys' official Twitter accounts, and Dr. Disrespect got banned. Ninja and Shroud have not, as of this time, went back and renegotiated a contract with Twitch. So a lot of people are assuming that this new streaming service is going to be launched, and that's going to basically replace Mixer as Twitch's competition. And again, some people are claiming that it was the work of those, like the collaborative effort of Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, and Shroud. It's not confirmed. That's kind of like a conspiracy theory, but there is a new website called that, and it is fitting a lot of the things that someone laid out in their little theory. It's interesting to see, but yeah, no, I agree. And Twitch definitely needs some competition as well. It can't be the only streaming software because it's gonna streaming platform because it's gonna go down the toilet basically. It's
gonna go down the toilet for us, not for them.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
I mean, take a look at YouTube. You remember a website called Blip? I think that's what it was called.
No, I don't.
Blip TV. They were.
But there's been plenty of them, like Dailymotion and Vimeo and all these different. Like, nobody goes to those websites. Everybody just goes to YouTube, and then YouTube does nothing for its content creators, like us, like smaller people like us. Like we're never gonna get anything with YouTube because they don't care about us. They're good. Nobody's gonna compete with YouTube, so they could just do whatever they want, basically.
And that's why I'm bringing up Blip TV, because I mean, Vimeo's still around, but they work way differently. They limit you to 720p. But it's kind of their fault why they're not really a good competitor. But Blip was really trying. Like, they were doing what Mixer was doing, trying to get some prominent YouTubers onto their website so they make their own content. That way they can basically be like, hey, you get that content over there, well, guess what, we got content just as good over here.
Yeah.
But again, nobody wanted to even try Blip for some dumb reason. And because of that, and because of people's reluctancy to try a new platform, these companies don't get the competition and we keep losing.
Yep.
So it kind of sucks, but I didn't even hear about BRIME, but I'm actually hoping it is something. Because if it is, again, we win. We win as consumers when these companies compete with each other.
All right, so for some announcements that I was really excited for, it's kind of weird, but like one of the biggest ones was Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2, which is a sequel for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 1. It was totally out of the blue. I had no idea. Nobody really expected this, as far as I could tell on the internet. And yeah, for those of you that don't know, Bloodstained is essentially modern day Castlevania. It's by the Castlevania guy, and he's just started up his another series. It was all Kickstarter as well, and people they said that the first Curse of the Moon was so popular that it warranted this sequel. I'm hyped for it. My buddy speedruns it, Big Joe, aka Joe King, of course, and yeah, I'm curious to really break into this. The characters seem good, the gameplay seems really good, all the visuals are really nice. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because that was one of the first things they announced in the New Game Plus Expo. And as much as I went into the New Game Plus Expo wanting it to be good, it kind of ended up being a really mediocre presentation. But we still got that great start at the beginning. Also, Suda 51 opened that talking about, just generally talking about how much he loves video games over the background of gameplay for No More Heroes 3. And I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? I watched the whole thing because I was expecting there'd be some No More Heroes 3 announcement, but no, that was like a prank, and man, that was a bad choice.
It was a pretty big tease.
But that's again though, like, why tease it if you're not gonna put it in, like, by the way guys, No More Heroes 3 coming out July 2020 or something like that. Why would you put it in the beginning and then nothing? Yeah, nothing. So that was crazy. The rest of the New Game Plus Expo was pretty lackluster. We did get a announcement of Ys 9 is officially coming west. They announced that it's officially coming west, and some of you guys may be able to see over my head, we have a advert for it. The game has been up in Japan since 2019, and it kind of seemed like it was sometimes like they made it seem like it was gonna come west and it was gonna be this fall. But no, from what I understand, it was supposed to be fall. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of delays now because of the pandemic, but I think what happened was, and this was also part of the New Game Plus Expo, instead they're going to release Trials 4 in the, which is by the same company, in the fall, and then Ys got pushed back to 2021, and they showed us this trailer, and there wasn't too much, like, I don't even want to watch the trailer because I'm so excited for this game. I don't want to spoil it for myself. It didn't even give us a month. It just gave us 2021, and it's like, oh, fuck, you couldn't even just say, like, quarter 2 2021, quarter 1, like, nothing. Yeah, so that was kind of disappointing. I mean, I'm glad that they're committing to something officially to everybody, but yeah, I mean, 2021 is a really long time away, and that kind of sucks. But anyway, in the meantime, we got other games, so I'll just do that. So 13 is getting a remake, not a remaster, a remake. That is like a shooter from, it's like a shooter from like the PlayStation 2 GameCube era.
Yeah, I know which game you're talking about. Wait, that's getting a remake?
It's getting a remake, yeah. I don't remember when that was, where it was announced, but November 10th, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Mac. So it's getting a full remake. That actually makes me really excited because I was always recommended that game, but I didn't get a chance to play it. That's why I like remakes so much, is because you get a chance to just, you have an excuse to go out and just, oh, it's coming out again? All right, let me just play the remake then. You know, but otherwise I would have never bothered to play it. Paper Mario Origami King is another one that's coming out. Yep. That game got announced randomly by Nintendo, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it just blew my mind because it's like, yeah, this is absolutely what I want. Sorry, not 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was like a month or so ago, maybe a little bit more. And then the thing that was crazier was that we didn't have an announcement previous, so this is the first we're hearing about Origami King, and they said July 2020. And yeah, it's not just July 2020, it's coming out the same day as Ghost of Tsushima. That's insane. But yeah, they announce it, and then like a month later, it's out. Paper Mario, there you go.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, seriously is. That's probably, at this time, that is one of the most exciting games for me on Switch, like upcoming. So I may have mentioned it somewhere, but I'm a big Stronghold fan. I've been playing Stronghold since I was in like high school. It's a pretty cool RTS game, all about like the Crusades and like castle making and stuff like that, and like raiding other castles. So they announced that it's going to be coming out September 29th on Steam, and they announced that actually like it was featured in like 2 of these presentations. So I'm like super hype about it. We actually got to see it at PAX East.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys may have seen that in like one of our like some of the B-roll shots or something. But I think at that time it didn't have a release date. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but very excited for that. Okay, so this one was already announced before, but we got an exclusive look of gameplay and an interview during one of the IGN streams, because IGN did like 6 days of streams. So it was during one of those Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. We now have a bunch of info about it. We kind of know what the game looks like, and I actually didn't know about it previous to like doing the research for this, and then when I looked up all the gameplay on it. But I'm kind of excited for that game, not so much for like the looks of it. The looks kind of bother me, but on the other hand, seeing how SpongeBob just came out and they did a really good job with it, I want to say that Samurai Jack will probably be a pretty good game as well. So I'm definitely looking out for that now that I know about it. So also during IGN's PC gaming show, they announced that Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town, which is aka today's Harvest Moon because of a weird loophole or something like that, is actually going to be coming to Steam. So you're going to be able to play what's essentially a Game Boy Advance game that's getting remade on Steam, and I'm not too terribly excited about getting that. I probably will, but I'm not too terribly excited about it. But it does open the door for potentially also bringing like Rune Factory to Steam, which I played. I bought Special, and it was like an insanely good game. Yeah, I like the idea of games like this coming to Steam. They already had like Stardew Valley and things like that, but yeah, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. It also felt like one of those announcements that was kind of like out of left field, like, what, this is coming to PC? That was pretty cool. So this one goes a bit way back, but I don't think we got to talk about it. That's why I want to talk about it right now. Ghost of Tsushima got its own, got the full presentation treatment. So we got to see like a 20 to 25 minute presentation about the game, and they went really in depth onto. They didn't waste any time like with intros or outros or anything like that, or like all this like in between time. It was just wall to wall gameplay. Somebody narrating what was going on and explaining some things that you can expect in the game. But yeah, from what it looked like, it looked really good. What I wasn't aware of was that it's actually going to be a more stealthy game. There's going to be some stealth elements to it. And so much so that one of my Twitch viewers actually pointed out that it kind of got like a MGS vibe to it. Like with some of the sneaking and whatnot. I liked it. I like that idea of a Dark Souls game that kind of ventures into like Metal Gear Solid territory as well. Almost like you could call it Ghost of Kojima, you know? But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that, and I really enjoyed that whole presentation too, because we got to see a closer look at it. They have cool modes, like you could play the whole game in black and white if you wanted to. Sort of like an old school samurai movie or something like that. It looks good. It's kind of a shame it's coming out, as we said earlier, the same day as Paper Mario, but it's definitely going to be like one of my favorite it feels like it's going to be like one of the heavy hitters for the PS4, you know, where we're going to look back at in 5 years from now.
It's a must-have. It's a must-have. I mean, it'll probably scratch a lot of spots for a lot of people, like you just said, MGS, Dark Souls, and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. We've all been waiting for it for like a few years now, so we're all ready now. And last but not least, this is kind of a downer for many of us. A lot of us were excited about this, but Cyberpunk got delayed, and it got delayed to, I believe, it got delayed by like a couple of months. So they pushed it back. It was supposed to come out somewhere like August, September, but they decided to take like an extra month on it, and that was not taken very well on the internet because people were. I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated games across both console and PC. But yeah, I mean, people really want to get their hands on this game. I know I want to get my hands on it.
Me too.
It did get delayed. What's also interesting though is that they did an entire presentation on this game after the fact. I didn't watch it because, just like I said with Ys and some of these other games too, really, like, I don't want to be spoiled on it, so I would rather not see it. All I'm really there for to know is that it did get pushed back, and that is kind of a shame. But yeah, like, they also, it was like a big thing on Twitch Gaming, and they actually gave out a Twitch emote for people that if you were tuned into the stream, you got a free global emote to use for like forever. Like, you just have that now. So yeah, I mean, it looks good.
The game looks fantastic. I'm excited to play it myself. There is this rumor going around that the reason why they delayed it was because they want to get it ready for like launch for the next generation systems. There's that rumor that either Microsoft or Sony is paying them to delay the game till October or November so they can get the next versions ready and just have it out day and date.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at this point we don't know, but we do know for a fact is that it has been delayed, and that's unfortunate, but at the very least they have more time to make it, so you got that.
Alright everyone, thank you for watching this awesome video. We just figured we might as well talk about a lot of the new stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let us know in the comments below. Smash that like button.
Yeah, specifically let us know if you guys had any similar interest in these announcements, like we talked about. Announcements, updates, some of the new games that have been talked about, or even if you really enjoyed one of these press conferences or showcases. I mean, there's been a lot of them, and there's been a lot of good stuff coming out, so very curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
That's right. We're gonna try to keep you guys updated as much as possible on this channel, so make sure you watch out for more news videos like this one in the future, and yeah, stay tuned for more awesome content.
Bye guys.